ship is operating water assigned to us for submerged operation by OpScan 48 Tech 18, verified by the Nav and myself. Sounding is 1385 fathoms beneath the keel and checks with chart. I have verified that my watch team is ready to submerge the ship. I intend to submerge the ship to 155 feet. Dive! Dive!
Machine with a need to bleed you when the light goes green. Best believe I'm in the zone to be. From a yin to my yang to Z. Put a grin on my chin when you come to me, cause I'll win, I'm a one of a kind, and I'll bring death to the place you're about to be. Another river of blood running under my feet. Forged in the fire living long ago. Stand next to me, you'll never stand alone. I'm last to leave, but the first to go. Lord, make me dead before you make me whole. I feed on the fear of the devil inside of the enemy faces in my sight. Aim with a hand, shoot with a mind, kill with a heart like Arctic ice.
I am a soldier and I'm marching on.
I am a soldier and I'm marching on.
I am a warrior, this is my song.
I am a warrior and this is my song. I'm basking the glow of the rising war. Lay waste to the ground of an enemy shore. Wade through the blood spilled on the floor. And if another one stands, I'll kill some more. Bullet in the breach and a fire in me, like a cigarette thrown to gasoline. If death don't bring you fear, I swear you'll fear these marching feet. Come to the nightmare, come to me. Deep down in the dark where the devil be. In the mall where the jaws and the razor teeth, where the brimstone burns and the angel weeps. Call to the gods of across your path, and my silhouette hangs like a body bag. Hope is a moment now long past. The shadow of death is the one I cast. I am a soldier and I'm marching on. I am a warrior and this is my song. My eyes are steel and my gaze is long. I am a warrior and this is my song.
We're not just going to shoot the bastard. We're going to cut out their living guts and use them to grease the treads of our tanks. We're going to murder those lousy bastards by the bushel.
Now I live lean and I mean to inflict the grief, and the least of me is still out of your reach. The killing machine's gonna do a good deed until the river runs dry and my last breath leaves. Chin in the air with a head held high, I'll stand in the path of the enemy line. Feel no fear, know my pride. For God and country I'll enjoy life. I am a soldier and I'm marching on. I am a warrior and this is my song. My eyes are steel and my gaze is long. I am a warrior and this is my song.
All right, now you sons of bitches. You know how I feel.
Good damn morning. Holy shit buckets. It is a beautiful day down here in northern Louisiana. My name is Cash Jackson. This is the War is Hell podcast. It is a working man and woman's podcast. This is not for, I don't know, your elite socialites. All right. This show is not for those people that don't look and sound like what we look and sound. Right. And I don't mean an accent, right, or being white or being male. I mean from the obvious. I'm a working man. My job right now, well, you're looking at it. This is what I'm doing full time. I'm developing a media network with some other fine veterans called the Veteran Liberty Network. And what we're seeking to do is create a 24-hour a day, 7-day a week broadcast from working men and working women who are out there that are in the grind, in the mix, and they want to share something with the rest of the world. And we're trying to develop that platform with which you can do that. We want you to come over to the Veteran Liberty Network. We want you to create your own show. We want you to broadcast your own message and have your own discussions, because it's sharing this communication in our values and our principles and our morals and where we stand as human beings on today's complex social issues amongst the working class, right? We're getting all of our information from up here and it's being pushed down to us. So we're going about this ass backwards, right? What I want to do is bring the working men and women together from all over the country, from all of our different demographics. I don't give a fuck if you're Democrat, Republican, white, black, Christian, Muslim, gay, straight. I don't really give a shit about any of these things. What I care about is, can you leave me and my family alone? Can you live your life in peace and exercise your liberties and not harm other people? It's a pretty simple thing that we do here. And so this is technically, I think, CJ, our third show, but they have blocked our first two shows in 259 countries or 259 locations. I don't think they specifically said country. So they and why? Well, for licensing purposes, right? We didn't have the corporate multi-million-dollar money brand name, and as many podcasters out there and people out there, right? I'm not going to purchase that shit. Okay. Here's what I think. This, and correct me if I'm wrong here. I think that in a free market, if we lived in a really free market, right, I can make an offer to you guys, and if it strikes one of your interests, you can message me and go, "Hey, Cash, man, I saw here that that you needed some music for your podcast, and I just want to give you access to a couple of my songs that you can play on your show." And so this artist reaches out and says, "Hey, Cash, man, I see you've got a problem. This is the free market at work. Okay, I got a problem. What's my problem? I love music. And I want to play music during my broadcast, and I want to play it in intermissions, because this could be a 2-hour show, 4-hour show, and I want my listeners to be able to enjoy music that I find interesting. If the music sucks, I'm going to say, well, this music sucks, and I'm not going to play it, right? And off it goes. We're going to fucking down thumb that shit, and off it goes. But if it's good, you can go over and follow that artist. You can help expand their platform. So this guy's going to give me a hand, and I hope you guys like his music. CJ, do me a favor and let's just put one song up. We'll just start, maybe play one of his songs.
Sure, right.
So this is Nick Sky. This is the band, Nick Sky. Check it out. Working man problems. This is one working man helping out another working man. Thank you, Nick Sky, for being the very first musician to debut.
See with all these flashing cameras in my face, but I love the way they play, throwing shadows on the stage. And I wonder where you are and what you think about this place. I can't help but miss those days, and I write on every page. My hero, she's the last real dreamer I know, and I could tell you all.
Right on, man. I like this guy.
Think I'll fall asleep till I roll over.
So there,
Just start over.
the Veteran Liberty Network. What did it do?
And I could tell you
We posed a problem. We discussed a problem,
I'll fall asleep till then.
and we're solving the problem. This is our solution, right? Working men helping out working men. I think he's pretty good. And for an individual to invest their time and energy and their love to develop that music, to put that kind of energy into learning an instrument, learning everything about music, learning how to bring other artists in with themselves and to mesh their work together, their talents together, to develop that takes a lot of time and energy and sacrifice, no differently than a lot of us that have invested tremendous amount of time in political work, in reforming family law, and in developing shows like this and a network to broadcast this. So that's what we're doing, right? This is kind of a no holds barred. This is not for your kids type show. And I would imagine as we do more of these, we're going to learn a lot of lessons together. You guys are going to provide constructive feedback, and we'll begin to kind of tailor this show in large part to the desires of the free market and what the free market's looking for. And you never really know quite what that is, so you kind of set out on an exploration to find out. And that's really what this is. This is me. This is how I grew up. You know, I'm a country kid at heart from the Bayous, Louisiana, and this is the show that CJ Abernathy and I are producing. So, with that being said, CJ, man, let's get into one of those first topics for today. I like starting with the more minor ones. Oh, my home state, right? So we're going to come out of the gate swinging. We got Senator Tom Cotton introduces a bill to increase child support payments. Now, this is on a federal level, folks. All right, Senator Tom Cotton, he's one of the U.S. senators from the state of Arkansas, my state, as it were, where I live and reside. And this guy's a Republican. So by the stereotype, right, I would support this guy. Okay. Woo, I'm Tom Cotton all the way. No, sir. I am not Tom Cotton all the way. And let me tell you why, right? This guy right here, number one, made a proposal to raise child support on non-custodial parents. Now, I don't know exactly why Tom Cotton latched onto this, right? This is a very peculiar piece for me. Why did Tom Cotton jump up and latch onto this in December of 2020, right? When the nation is largely shut down, lots of men, working men, are out of fucking work, Tom Cotton. And what does this asshole do? He runs up here into Congress and makes this fucking proposal to increase child support on non-custodial parents. Okay, and in that article, CJ, I don't know if you can find a piece of that article there, but he specifically says fathers, right? And this was a quote. They quoted him in this, and maybe we can. I would love to find that audio. I should have done that earlier, but I just saw this article either last night or this morning. But in this article, he specifically points at fathers, right? And perpetuates the stereotype. There it is, the third paragraph. Fathers have an obligation to care for their children. That sentence right there is the most fucking telling piece about the discriminatory practices of child support and this deadbeat dad mantra that has been pushed by the mainstream media. I'm dying to know, because here's the thing, folks. There may only be 21 people on this live feed, but we're ruffling their fucking feathers with these issues. And they know Senator Tom Cotton's in my state, right? I think that I'm personally making enough noise about this issue now that I wouldn't be surprised. Now, I can't say definitively that somebody paid that guy to fucking do that, right? That there is some undue influence there from some group who's going to give money to this guy or somebody that he's close to. A favor got exchanged for that bill, right? Because if Tom Cotton was about the fucking working man, one, he's going to go, well, my state's largely shut down, like other industries, or there's a lot of restaurants and businesses that are hurting still as a result of these COVID measures. Our normal patterns of human beings are greatly disrupted. Okay. We are not living in the state of Arkansas. We are not living with the same mindset and wherewithal as we go out into public. It's far different, and you feel it, you see it, it's everywhere, right? It's social engineering, it's manipulation. Senator Tom fucking Cotton, Republican, constitutionalist, conservative, why in the fuck are you not calling out just all cease and desist on these COVID measures? A complete cease and desist with a fucking Surgeon General's warning that going outside may pose serious health risk to you or your family, right? right? We should be at the Surgeon General right now drafting a Surgeon General's recommendation for people to go outside, to just knowingly go outside and interact with the American people and get on with our lives. But no, he's not doing that. He's talking about increasing child support on non-custodial parents, stereotypically, as he points out. Maybe his little Freudian slip there, didn't even realize it. Nobody really caught that shit because the mainstream media, they are so conditioned to their own shit, they're accustomed to seeing it, and it's normal for them. It is normal for the mainstream media to continue to say and stereotype dads as being deadbeat fathers, right? This fucking pit bull wouldn't love on me the way that she does if I was a deadbeat, right? Because I care for her, right? It's my mama's pit bull. But this is ridiculous. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous that Tom Cotton, that number one, should be defending the Constitution, and he's not. What he is doing is looking to expand. So here's what he just said. Here's what he actually said. I want to expand the state. That's what he should have said. I want to expand state control and state overreach, because here's going to be the waterfall effect. Republicans and Democrats sign off on this fucking bill to increase child support on non-custodial parents because, well, we've been living 20 or 30 years now of being portrayed as deadbeats, right? Because we have penises and we're men. And we only want to get out of paying child support when we want equal custody, right? Never mind, the common sense rationale that money follows the child. So if the child's spending equal time with dad is, well, by all accounts, spending equal the amount of money on the child. But that's not the rationale. The rationale is increase child support. That means increase child support collections. When you increase child support collections, you increase federal funding that goes back into the state. And I'm trying to figure this shit out, okay? Why does the money go from us, the taxpayer? I'm in Arkansas, right? I give my dollar bill through my federal taxes to DC. So I hand it from Arkansas several thousand miles to the fucking East Coast. And then the state passes a piece of legislation, i.e. child support. And when they collect the child support, then the federal government gives 66 cents back to the state. So in essence, this is entirely a federal program, folks. He's pointing at something. I got to grab something. Is this what you want me to get? Child support enforcement is one of the most effective anti-poverty programs in the country, lifting more than 1 million families over the poverty line each year. However, approximately 1/4 of child support cases aren't paid, often because the non-custodial parent doesn't have a job. Okay, key sentence here, dumbasses, doesn't have a job. It doesn't mean they don't want to be employed. It doesn't mean that they don't want to work. It doesn't mean that they don't want to thrive in their livelihood. There's a lot more at work here. We're working men and working women with real life circumstances and problems and issues that arise. And it is not that easy to get child support suspended or reduced. It is not so fucking easy. People think it's so easy. You just walk into there, you just file a little old motion with the court, you go in and say, see, judge, I don't have a job, I got laid off. Okay, sir, let's lower your child support right here today on this filing. No, it could take you months and months and months just to get in front of a judge. And this is what Tom Cotton wants to do, expand the fucking state. This will increase child support collections. It will increase the need of the state to hire more people to collect more child support. And thus builds the fucking machine politics, the machine overreaching state government. This is how it churns itself, how it builds itself. It turns you, the working man, the labor, the serf, it turns you and your family into indentured servants for the state, right? They use these children. They justify best interests of the child. They say that they have parens patria, the Latin phrase for the state is now the supreme parent. Senator Tom Cotton believes the state is the supreme parent. You must follow the chain of events. You must follow all of the links to the root cause. At the root of this is a deprivation of a natural liberty. One beknownst to man is that equal is equal. 1 and 1 are equal. 2 and 2 are equal. 3 and 3 are equal. 4 and 4 are equal. 4 and 30 are not fucking equal, folks. You understand what I'm saying? 85% of all child support is paid by fathers. Hence the stereotype towards fathers in the Freudian slip of Mr. Tom fucking Cotton. It is paid by fathers. The debt, the labor, the servitude is at the hands of fathers. And from this last week's show, we found out child support began in early English common law when a man and a woman could not legally divorce. They could only legally separate. That was all that the state allowed them to do, the monarchy, the religion, the Catholicism. That's all that the state would allow them to do, was to legally separate at that time. And so government said, man, you must still provide for woman and child. And thus began the alimony and child support payments on ourselves because of the religious doctrine and dogma that existed that man could not divorce wife, and government or some other man said otherwise, right? The state, somebody said that the man couldn't get divorced. There had to be an authority and an enforcement, a coercion to make them do that. Otherwise, we would just separate from one another when things got too bad. That would be the natural things. If things got too bad, we would separate. What are you pointing at? He's pointing at something. I never know what he wants. He's pointing. Oh, there we go. Okay, thank you. Me and my executive producer are now communicating. At least 30 states and the District of Columbia operate some form of program to help or require non-custodial parents to find work if they are underemployed, unemployed, or delinquent on their child support order. These programs have proven effective at increasing, note, okay, listen to this. These programs have proven effective at increasing child support payments. Now, while that sounds like a positive thing, that is in fact a negative thing, that they are increasing child support payments. What they're saying is, we're going to train you, slave. We're going to train you, slave, how we want you to pick the cotton and fill the bags. We're going to train you where and for how long and how much is demanded of you. This is slavery. They say they take your children. This was an element of slavery, right? They would take people's children, and if you take someone's child, you get them to do whatever you want. You're literally using their child against them to coerce them. I have your child. I have control of your child. You do what I want. You make the money I tell you to. If I impute your income, if I say you're capable of making more, you're capable of making more, I said so. Never mind your individual liberty to do more, to rest your body for longer if you so need it. Never mind the working man's ability to rest his back. Never mind the working man's ability to exercise his liberty and freedom. Maybe the man, maybe the father would like to spend more time with the child. Maybe the father would like to wake up in the morning and make his child breakfast. Maybe the father, the working man, would like to work up and take his child to have a play date, to go fishing. Maybe the father would like to spend time throwing a football with his son. Maybe the father would love some time to take his daughter to go spend time with her friends and her families. Maybe the dad wants to be involved, but you know what the state says? You know what the monarchy says? You know what the authoritarian says? They say, no, working man, no, serf, no. You will do as I tell you to do. You will work as I tell you to work. You are not disabled unless I say that you're disabled. And here's why. The federal government partially reimburses states for expenses they incur through their child support enforcement programs, but currently child support work programs are not eligible for reimbursement. So follow, right? Follow what they're doing, serfs. Follow. Get in line. Stand there and shut your fucking mouth. Raise your hand and then I'll call on you. You wait. That's the state. That's what we're taught. That's what we're conditioned, right? That is the communist. That is the socialist inside the education system. Orderly. In a box. Don't get out of it. Stay there, serf. That's what they're saying. This is the expansion of the state, the wheelhouse of federal government incentives. You think this child support is awesome. It sounds moral. It sounds right. It sounds like this is what we should be. Yes, 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 increase child support. You've got single moms out there just, yes, please increase it on those deadbeats. Yes, get them, punish them, punish them. Stand on the working man's throat. Put the boot on the man's throat. Put the boot on the working man's throat. My service dog wants to come comfort me. She knows I'm upset. You see that? Look at that. That's love, right? That's a condition of a love between a man and an animal. We're like beings. Us and man's best friend. Right? This isn't a service animal because the animal or because the state gives me a certificate, because the state says, yeah, we sign off on your service animal. Right? They have to sign off on your service animal. Do you know that? You know, for it to like really be a service animal, there's some government requirements, right? Like your relationship, like your marriage, right? Like your children, they want to put a stamp on government approval, right? Government said you can have it. Hey, don't chew on me so hard. I got to calm down a little so I can calm my pet down. See that? You're a good girl, Macy. It's actually my mama's dog. I think she loves me. We're learning one another. I don't know. She is subject to attack me at any point in time because she's an animal, and animals do funny things. Thanks, Ira. Good buddy of mine here, Ira Scott. How about the guy in, so if you guys have not watched Yahya McClane's movie, War, I would recommend to definitely go watch that, right? It's a Yahya McClane, I think he was a two-time heavyweight champion, was married to one of Muhammad Ali's daughters, casualty of war, warriors against the regime. I am in that a lot. This guy was a heavyweight champion, boxer. This is a very moving documentary, right? Hey, pause that right there. Pause that. Go back up there. That guy right there, Dominic Tomasello. Holy shit. That's a story in itself right there. Right? I can tell my side of a Dominic Tomasello story. That guy's dead, right? Illinois killed that guy, Dominic Tomasello. I was trying to help this guy get out of house arrest. Look, they had 2 ankle monitors on that guy. Did you see that? They had 2 ankle monitors on that guy. Look, this is what I'm telling you. This shit's real as fuck. You think I'm fucking around here? They had that guy on 2 ankle monitors. That's my friend Gwendolyn Chubb. Okay, also fucked in the Chicago courts. Desperate to see her kids. That woman. Desperate to see her children. These are people that I know. These are friends. These are people that I've seen and talked to and had a relationship with. Dominic Tomasello was murdered by Cook County, right? We flooded. We did like I just rallied the troops and we flooded the Cook County State's Attorney's office with phone calls, faxes, and emails, and they shut down all their shit. We flooded them for them to release Dominic Tomasello. That guy was on house arrest. How long was he on house arrest? Was it like 2 years?
2 years. He couldn't even leave within the range of the sidewalk.
2 fucking years. 2 years. That guy, 2 ankle monitors on him, was in house arrest. for 2 fucking years in like a 600 square foot apartment. This guy's mental state, 2 years. The guy was quarantined, folks, for 2 fucking years, and he was never convicted of a crime. He was never brought to trial. That is the power of the state. When you oppose the state, that is the power that the state wields. That's what I oppose as a veteran, as somebody who believes in the Constitution and what I fought to support and defend, what my brothers and sisters fucking died for. You understand what I'm saying? I have to oppose it. I'm required to. You paid me to. I'm still on a retainer from the military. I'm not officially retired to my 30-year mark. I've only been out 4 years, folks. My legal obligation right now, as it sits in my veteran status, is that I could be recalled to active duty at any time, any point in time. And the things that I have done, the words I've said, inverting the American flag, putting on my dress blue uniform with an inverted flag with full fucking medals, people don't understand what I was risking there, right? They don't understand. They don't appreciate the sacrifice that I was making, the willingness to make a sacrifice. The military, the Navy, in doing so, in my outspokenness, in all of what I do, the military could bring me back on active duty, reinstate me, take me to fucking court martial or captain's mass, bust me down, kick me out, and take all of my benefits. That is the power of the state. That is the power of government that they wield over people. It is that fear that they instill in you, which compels you into silence, into falling in line. Think about it. There is always a threat. Always. You wake from the time that you wake up to the time that you go to bed, there is this thinly veiled threat that if you don't produce and if you don't pay for the state, they're going to take your property and you're going to jail. Macy's getting under the table. I don't know what she's after. A moth, a dead fucking moth. Macy, I wish you guys could see this. Maybe you can. Jesus Christ. She's trying to get a dead moth down there. Y'all see that? I didn't distract from the story, okay? It was the working dog, and she's disabled herself, right? My Louisiana working dog is disabled. She's schizophrenic. She's bipolar. She's got split personalities. She is fast as shit. And sometimes she's probably going to be the star of the show. Jesus Christ. What are you doing?
Many of you shared a night like this with me and my family 6 years ago. Now, a lot of things changed over 6 years. You know, back then, Anna and I were still newlyweds, and she was an expectant mother. Now, Gabriel's a kindergartner, and his little son is going to be 4 years old. Oh, I'm sorry, his little brother is going to be 4 years old. Getting ahead of myself. So, of course, it is way past their bedtime. So they couldn't be here, and their mother couldn't be here with them either. But I know that she's watching at home, and I just want to say, Anna, hun, I love you. I couldn't have done any of it without you. And although Anna couldn't be here with me tonight, she's been with me every step of the way.
Pause that. What did he say? What did he say? I couldn't have done it. What? What did he fucking say? What did Tom Cotton just say? Anna, I couldn't have done what? I couldn't have done it without you, right? So,
although Anna couldn't be here with me tonight, she's been with me every step of the way for 6 years now. And I got to say that when I think about my family and I think about Anna and my hopes and aspirations for our boys, my thoughts can't help but turn pretty quickly to you and your families and to Arkansas's families, because our families are what really make our state and our nation so blessed and so wonderful. And so
unless you're a dad. Yep, keep playing it. I want to keep going. I'm just going to commentate as this asshole's talking.
To serve and protect you and your families in the United States Senate.
That's bullshit. That's bullshit. With this fucking bill alone, that's bullshit, Tom Cotton.
All the incredible stories I've heard from the families I've met during my time serving.
Like not seeing my kids for 2 years.
Families of police officers who wake up every morning and put on the badge
And enforce unconstitutional laws you dumbasses fucking pass.
safe. And they don't know if they're going to come back that night. And their families.
And you're putting them at greater risk by making them take fucking cannabis from people.
more every day
You put the police at risk, Tom Cotton.
to protect our communities.
That's not protecting communities.
Say goodbye.
Kicking in doors of people who aren't hurting people isn't protecting them. That's fucking hurting them, Tom Cotton. Where's the audible?
Or to look at it from a different perspective, I think about some of the families I've met who have tragically been the victim
Right.
of violent crime. Who are
Yeah, which increases when you take dads out of the picture. Violent crime increases when you take fathers out of the picture, Tom Cotton.
Christians think that the way to stop crime is to coddle criminals, not to stop criminals.
No, it's to get to the root cause. The root cause, Tom.
Tragically been visited by the demons of addiction.
Increases in fatherless homes.
Kid to an overdose. Because too
More
many,
likely if you come from a fatherless home.
as Mexican drug cartels smuggle drugs across our southern border.
Yeah, blame the Mexicans.
Drug smugglers.
Don't blame the issues of the heart, the trauma being caused, which causes people to self-medicate. Don't blame that, Tom Cotton. Don't get to the root. Don't get to the heart of the matter, Tom Cotton.
And I think about the victims of those drugs.
You're creating them, you dumbass.
No report. That's not a line in an annual summary. It is a daily living tragedy for all.
That you create. The federal government creates. The state
But
creates.
We're working hard in our farms or in our factories, trying to make ends meet.
Yeah.
In these troubled times.
Try being a fucking non-custodial parent doing the same thing.
But too often, giant multinational corporations have sent their factories overseas
Like child support collection agencies, for instance.
to cheaper foreign labor overseas, or they've imported foreign labor here to take their jobs here.
As a result of greater government and greater government services.
And I think of the families of our troops, all of our blue
No, you don't, buddy. No, you fucking don't. Don't you invoke the troops, you asshole. That is a betrayal of the troops. It is a betrayal of the troops who are, let's go ahead and talk about those dads there, Tom Cotton. How many dads are in the military, Tom Cotton? How many dads in the military are deployed and away from their families, Tom Cotton? How many of us were paying child support consistently and routinely? How many of us were placed in near poverty levels because the child support payments we were ordered to pay while serving our country and thereafter were so ridiculously high we couldn't even afford to pay our own basic living expenses, our mortgages, our car payments? How about those veterans, Tom Cotton? Fuck those guys, right? Never mind the guy out on a ship right now, who right now, his old lady's at home banging Jody. Okay. She's at home banging Jody right now. And before old Sergeant First Class Jackson gets his ass back home, she's going to be fucking uprooting and emptying out his apartment and his bank accounts before he gets back and filing for divorce in a separate fucking state across the goddamn country. Right? And he's going to have to take and use his leave that he would use to go see his family, to go fight for his children that were just kidnapped across the fucking country. But nobody had a problem with it because it was a mom that ran away. And it's a civil matter. Police officers, remember? Y'all remember this, police officer? It's a civil matter. It's a civil matter. It's a civil matter. It's a civil matter. Hands off, hands off, hands off, hands off. You want to be all fucking hands on and fuck somebody up if they got some goddamn pot on them? Oh shit, boy, we got a lively one. We got a lively one now. We got us a working man. Let's fucking pop his fucking head off. Let's kneel on his neck.
Proud of their young sons and daughters serving our nation, wearing the flag of our nation on their shoulder, whether they just reported to basic training or whether they're with the Navy SEALs and Delta Force tonight, ready to fly into action. Again, bursting with patriotism and pride at what their children
At being duped. At being duped.
protect our nation.
You got fucking duped, fellas. We all did. Okay? Can we say that? We got duped.
This phone call.
We got scammed and we don't want to fucking admit it.
Expected knock at the door. And I think about our great veterans
And I helped them do it.
and the families they left behind when they went to go serve overseas. But also those veterans when they came home. The greatest generation who
I'm
were
getting sick to my fucking stomach listening to this. This is why I can't be a fuck. I can't be in political office.
My battle buddies from our generation for, to teach our children and our grandchildren that America is a country worth fighting for.
You goddamn right she is, and that's what we're doing right now. The working man is raising up, Tom Cotton, and we're not putting up with this shit. We are not as dumb as you fucking want to have us believe, Mr. Harvard grad or Yale grad, whatever Ivy League school that your sorry ass went to.
Ashamed of or ever apologize for.
Oh, you're going to apologize. You're going to fucking apologize. At some point in time, you assholes are going to stand up there in front of a fucking TV, in front of veterans like me, and you're going to fucking apologize. 2 years I ain't seen my kid. 2 years. And I'm not supposed to be angry.
Or irredeemable land, something that we should apologize for.
These are your Ivy League pricks right here.
Arkansas.
Right? These are your Ivy League pricks who think that they know the working man better than we do.
Country that
Once you begin to understand where a motherfucker comes from, you begin to understand their personality and how they think, right? Whether or not you like it, we are separated into separate classes, and I don't like it. Okay? I don't like it, but I acknowledge that it exists. Just as I acknowledge racism exists, classism exists, and there's a special class of people, these Ivy League fucking pricks, that think that they know better for the working man, that they think that they can legalese and write their laws and shit around us to where we can't read it, we can't understand it, we don't know what the fuck's going on. But we know, Tom Cotton, working men like me fucking know. And we're going to call you out on your bullshit. And we're going to start airing this dirty laundry bad. I mean, we're going to be running into, I'm telling you, this network is going to grow from me to other people like me that are voicing the same opinions, just in a different way, on a different, through a different type of medium. What do you want me to get to, CJ? He's directing me here. Hold on. He's doing what a director does. We got a guest. I see him. We got Travis waiting. What the fuck? You guys can see my executive director. He's like a little miniature man in this camera down here yelling at me to do something.
You know what? Good morning, Cash. I guess this is just a good time for producer notes. Tom Cotton is was in 2005 a commissioned officer in the United States Army, where as an infantry officer he rose to the rank of captain. His military record includes service in the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq, where he was awarded the Bronze Star and Combat Infantry Badge. He was elected as the U.S. representative for Arkansas's 4th Congressional District in 2012 and to the Senate at age 37 in 2015, defeating two-term Democratic incumbent Mark Pryor. So he's a veteran as well. So just making sure that's on there for editorial purposes,
which is why it makes it all the more offensive to me. Look,
right?
Let's play this out for a moment, CJ. I'm Tom Cotton,
miniature guy.
I'm Tom Cotton, right? Look,
wait,
I'm Army.
Read this.
I'm Army infantry officer.
Yeah,
Tom Cotton.
Officer. He's used to the class separation between the working.
Where did he go to college?
And I'm going to go listen to generals and stroke them. Yeah.
Where did he go to college?
We know the difference, Cash.
Where did Tom Cotton? Somebody tell me. Where did Tom Cotton go to college?
Tom Cotton went to Harvard College and is a Juris Doctor from Harvard Law School. He also attended.
What? Wait. Money shot right on that mother. What did you say?
I just said Tom Cotton holds a degree in government from Harvard College and is a Juris Doctor from Harvard Law School.
Right there. Boom. Stop. Right there. Circle. Highlight.
No, I hear you. I hear what you're saying. I just, I know
you do. I want the audience to know.
No,
I want the audience to know that the key component here in Tom Cotton in filing a bill for child support increasement is, in fact, because he's an attorney. Is, in fact, because of the bar
if he was a veteran and he actually knew veteran issues, like contributing factors in family law cases, he wouldn't bring a bill like this with seriousness to the floor of any state.
Did he go to fucking? He went to law school before he went in the military.
Yeah, that's how he was a captain in the infantry. You have to be an officer to go as a college. Excuse me, you have to go to college to be an officer.
Therein is the enemy infiltration, right? That's the enemy infiltration right there. That's the chaos agent right there. They go in and they learn. No, Tom Cotton. They go in. They learn the inner workings. They learn the inner workings, the administrative portion. They learn the administrative portion of the military and how it operates in their various branches. And then they carry that knowledge and that component. They carry that knowledge and that component back to law. They go back and they practice law. And this is how they change the domestic policy, because now they know, okay, how do we get the troops money from them? Right? How does their system work? They have to have people on the inside. Tom Cotton's, these attorneys are their insiders. They know how that industry works. They take that knowledge back to their specific area of law, and then they proceed to exploit.
I'm just saying, listen, you're taking it from that civilian working man side of thing, from a veteran to a veteran. I don't care if you have a bronze fucking star, a purple heart, a fucking pink tail. Doesn't matter to me. When you're dealing with child support and you're dealing with the veteran issue specifically of how veterans are affected by family courts, and you do something like that, you're no veteran. You're a traitor. You're no veteran. Fucking community, and you're literally responsible for a factor in veteran suicide and other suicides in this country.
Thank you.
So you're an accomplice. You're not a hero. You're a fucking accomplice. But anyways, we do have a guest, Travis. So if you want to hop on, Travis, you can be our first caller today. Just go ahead and
Travis, come on into the kitchen. Ready. Come on into the kitchen, man. Let's have a cup of coffee. What you got?
What's up, man? I've been dealing with this about as long as you have, Cash. I don't know if you remember me or not, but I've been kind of out of the spotlight for a while, trying to deal with everything they've caused, like the chain effect of everything caused me a divorce and everything with the extortion. But I wanted to come on and let everybody know there's a way to get them back in the corner by the balls. That's what I've done I'm dealing with West Virginia with Kanawha County. Well, I haven't paid my child support in over a year because of them adding interest to zero arrears. And I told them to come after me, and they're like, "We're going to come after you and put you in jail." I was like, "Go ahead, bitch." Exact words. I was like, "Go ahead." Yeah, well, they never did. Brother. They never tried. And I was like, "I'm contesting it due to the fraudulent activity." And they're like, "Well, there's no fraud." I'm like, "Well, wouldn't it be fraud if you're adding interest to $0 arrears?" And no comment. I had a modification. I tried to have I'm digging through paperwork right here, looking for something. I tried to have a modification filled out because in 2014 I was in a bad car wreck and it put me out of work under a doctor's note.
Wait. You got fucked up in a car wreck? You mean something happened to a working man? He got in a car wreck?
Yeah. Like I should have died, dude. Like I hit a wall because the pedal, it was a manufacturer's defect in the vehicle I was in. Gas pedal stuck to the floor.
Where were you going? Where were you?
I was coming off the interstate. All right, some
from where? Location. Where were you going to?
In Florida. I was in Florida when it happened. Okay, and I ended up getting put out of work, and I had to move closer to my kid in West Virginia. So at that time, I discovered there was abuse. Like forensic interviews were done. So it took tooth and nail fighting to get a copy of it turned into the court. Judge buried it. It was all about the mother and her 2 boyfriends at the time.
Right.
So for reporting that, they made me go through supervised visitation. So all along the while, like we're going through court, the mother's lying, stating that I'm using the courts to harass her, which it was the opposite. She had me going through a court in Ohio where I resided at the time. I moved from Florida to Ohio. Right. So she had me going through court trying to get me locked up for child support. So 9 months rolls by and I get my modification back. Them assholes imputed income at minimum wage and 32 hours a week and denied my modification, claiming that it was not 15% difference. So they couldn't modify it. So in return, I called the governor's office, Jim Justice office in Charleston, West Virginia, and told on him. Well, at that point in time, after being out of work almost 2 years, I was only behind around $800 child support. With their interest, it was $1,200. Well, when I turned them into the governor's office, they said that I owed $3,600 in back child support and tried to get my ass locked up. So I demanded under federal law, anything over $20 or greater, you have the right to an attorney. If you can't afford one, they have to provide an attorney. So I threw that in their face. They give me this quack attorney, and he's in there talking like to the judge and shit. I told him right on the record, I was like, Your Honor, this guy's fired. I want a new attorney. He obviously ain't working for me. He's working for you. I want a new attorney. Next time I get an attorney, Cash, they give me an older gentleman. The first thing he does was walks in there and hands me two pieces of papers, which come to find out were great evidence. It shows the state not only taking 100% of my unemployment, 100% of multiple paychecks, but applying it to TANF, right? Like the state is basically taking my money. So
families, right? Temporary assistance.
How you get these documents? There's a way to get them, and everybody's entitled to them. If you pay child support, put it in writing. Either go there or send it in certified mail with return receipt. You want a complete case file audit done. Okay. You want the non-custodial parent or absent parent, whichever they label you as. It's either NCP, disbursement detail and payment detail, or AP disbursement and payment detail. Basically tells you all the payments you've made and where that money's going. The majority, in 8 years of my son's life, he's just turned 11 in May. So when 8 years, I added up everything, all the interest they've added, everything I've paid.
Wait. I just want to remind folks. That it's we can't provide legal advice. So anything Travis puts out there,
no,
it's not legal advice. It's just what Travis has done. Okay, right. This is just what he has done.
This is what I've seen that works.
Right. Perfect. So air it out there.
I'll turn this camera around. So it's a case file audit basically breaks it down. It tells you exactly what you paid. I can't figure out how to spin my camera around, but this is kind of like a breakdown of it. Okay, it tells you what you've paid, and then the disbursement details says where it's going. So I've got the case file audit right here, where in 2011 they added there was 0 arrears, and they added $24.02 to put me in the hole, $224. As soon as I got out that time, they added $160.12 that time that I got out, which put me back $274 in the hole. The next time I got out, it just kept going up. So I've got the proof right there. There's the fraud, right? And with every year them adding it, that shows the pattern of embezzlement, extortion.
Who's your governor? It's time we start. Look. It is honestly time we start going.
Jim Justice, but he's protecting them.
Yeah, of course he is.
He's protecting them.
He's in charge of the executive branch. He's in charge of making that money for that piece of the state. He's in charge of that. They're all collecting, right? The executive branch, right? They're in charge of the fucking the sheriffs, right? They're in charge of the child support. They're in charge of the enforcers. They're in charge of those who decide how much you owe or don't owe. Dude, it's a whole fucking racket on the working man's back. We're serfs, bro. We're fucking serfs.
Yep. This right here was what I was actually behind when I was off work. This is the interest they added for me. It was $875. Correct, and I was wrong, but off not by much. Okay, my folder. This is their ass. That's what this folder is. And then they said that they owed me $11 times 2 right here, so $22, which I never received none of that. Everything contradicts itself. I've saved this stuff for 10 years, dude. This is all of the things I was getting from the billing summaries, and none of it adds up. Okay, they said that I was only behind 171. That doesn't add up to none of this stuff. Here's the interest. All right. So here's the arrears. Nothing.
You watch Working Men, Working Women. You watch. This is. Hey, look. This is the network, right? What we're doing right here. I want you guys to begin to follow why we're different. What sets us apart from other podcasts, right? We're working men and women that we're networking our way and piecing our information together for all to see, because this is something I haven't seen, right? What Travis has done is amazing. That is a testament to that man's will. That's the working man's will to say, fuck you to the man is what that is, right? He was like, nope, I'm not in the wrong.
It gets more.
In the wrong won't do that. That's a guy in the right. A guy in the right does what Travis did.
You have to excuse. You have to listen. You have to excuse like the mess, but this is just Boulder, okay? That's all evidence, and that there's a bag there. This is a bag, laptop. There's evidence for days. I have And that's what I'm saying. When I told them, I was doing line work. It was during 2018 hurricane. I ended up doing telecommunications line work after that disaster. So I'm actually working in Columbia, South Carolina, cleaning up the mess, and child support calls me. They're like, "Oh, well, we noticed that you haven't made your payments." I'm like, "Well, you should be well overpaid at it and taking all my they took all my stimulus and everything this last year." But I was like, this was in 2018. I was like, you should be well overpaid with all the interest that you've added to zero arrears. I was like, I'm not paying nothing else. Take me to court because I'm contesting it for fraud. She's like, oh, well, we're going to. That was 2 years ago.
Right.
I told him straight up. I was like, you know what? I cussed her out. All the other linemen was looking at me like, this dude's crazy. I'm like, no, I'm getting to the point where I'm sick. I'm tired of it, dude. My son, if it doesn't stop with me, second generation, Cash. The same courthouse, the same town did this shit to my dad, who was an Army veteran and retired. He's lost his mind. He wanted to go die in Afghanistan rather than live here under this regime of the child support. They took every reenlistment bonus for him.
You're working man clips, right? Hold on, CJ. I don't know
I'm
how
in the process of actually writing like a biography. Do what?
Yeah, I just wanted to tell CJ. CJ, look, there's moments in these conversations like this, like what Travis just said about his dad, right? That requires more emphasis, right? I don't like stopping people when they're fucking talking, but today I hear things much closer than I ever heard them before. 10 years ago, what you just said, Travis, I just kind of would have glazed over. But with the knowledge I have now, what you just said is fucking profound. That your father, who was a veteran, you said that he would rather go back overseas and fucking die than deal with the family courts. Is that that's what I'm saying, man. That's fucking profound.
Like my fiance vouched like he's lost his mind, Cash. Like it's literally pushed him to the point of no recovery, really, because all he does is drink all day. Like they was literally taking every reenlistment bonus. I'm talking 20 grand and giving it to my mom, and the state would take a portion. You know what she did? She partied with it. Or she'd buy her new boyfriends a vehicle, boyfriends that were physically abusing me and my brother.
Listen,
and that's the same thing. The same town did that to him.
Right. These are the honest discussions, Travis.
The same city,
dude. Hey, I appreciate you sharing your heart. Right. This is really deep personal shit that a lot of us never would have shared publicly. Right. Previously, working men. We would really have kept a lot of these issues to ourselves and just bitched in our groups or with our fellow man. We would have went and drank a beer with our buddy and vented and just tried to survive. And that's bullshit. We shouldn't have to live like that. We shouldn't have to live that way.
You're right. I tried that for years, and ultimately it didn't work. Like it didn't work. I drank and I was an alcoholic bad, and the grace of God I got away from it.
You self-medicated.
Pretty much. Like it's really it's a strain that I actually the forensic interviews, when I turned the mother and her two boyfriends at the time in for abusing my son, they punished me, made me do supervised visits, listened to all her bullshit hearsay. There was no evidence to back up because it was lies. Well, then I eventually got him for the first 2 weeks of a summertime in 2017. Well, he didn't want to go around a week and a half. He was like, I don't want to go home. I'm like, you gotta go home, dude. Well, then he broke down crying, telling me, I don't know what it's like. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I knew it was serious at that point. I sat next to him. I was hugging him like, what do you mean, buddy? Daddy don't know what's wrong. I don't know how to fix something if I don't know what's broken. So you're going to have to tell me. He's like, you don't know what it's like to be abused. And when he said that, he tore his room up, dude. Like, he was 8 years old. And then I called CPS in Ohio where I live. They advised me to take him to an emergency room for abuse neglect intake. Did it right away. So they advised him to go to trauma therapy and counseling and contacted the CPS in West Virginia where the mother resides. Well, next thing I know, I'm getting served with emergency custody. And she takes me to court and says I'm withholding the child, and has the CPS worker from West Virginia have the same bullshit ass story as her, almost word for word. They forced me to give my son back to them June 6th of 2017, and I haven't seen him since. Later on, they railroaded me 2 times after that. I was 4 hours away one way to get to West Virginia. I was staying at my grandmother's house the night before court. Both times, around 5 o'clock, the guardian allowed one assigned, canceled court. He's like, oh, well, the hearing was it was continued. Like told me the night before after I was already in town. He done that to me twice. Well, then my divorce failed because she got tired of him taking all her income taxes and money with child support. Failed the divorce, so I moved to Tennessee with my brother, and I tried to contact this guardian ad litem 3 months, telling him, "Look, I can't make it to court. A lot of stuff has happened. This has caused like detrimental effects in my life. I need a continuance." Well, about 6 days before court, this asshole actually calls me back. I was like, "Oh well, it's up to you to file the continuance for court, and you don't have time now." Scope the guidelines.
Oh, now it's too
Basically,
late. Right.
yeah, my son was awarded to the mother, full custody, sole custody. I get
Wow.
30-minute phone calls if he wants to. After that, at that point in time, she had 2 years to condition him and threaten him. I've got recorded phone calls with her threatening him and everything. The judge refused to look at any of it.
Play them. If you got them,
That's all
play 'em.
because of child support.
Play 'em.
They're failing to protect the children because they want the child to be with a dangerous parent. That way,
Right.
the parent that's got the income will keep fighting and keep feeding that machine.
Right. I'm all about exposing them. If you've got
Yeah,
recorded phone calls with the mother doing that shit, take
dude,
a
I've
clip
got
and play it. We'll play it.
I've got
We will
probably
play it on this show. We will play it. And
I've got 8 to 10 64 megabyte USB drives full of phone calls with her, like talking crazy to him, her talking crazy to me, and everything, and the courts
yeah,
as well. Like
hey,
the
we'll play
child
that
support
shit.
office.
And this is what we have to start. Look, we have to start fighting for one another. We have to actually start taking steps to take care of and fight for one another. And some of that includes saying, and I'll tell you too this way, break their fucking rules. They're breaking the law. They're breaking and violating your basic liberties. So fuck them. Fuck, fuck their rules, or you can't be kind. Like
See now,
it's evident why you can't record. It's evident why they have police there to enforce you and intimidate you. It's evident why they don't want any recordings. It's evident why they can't have due process,
see,
because if due process were allowed, they couldn't do this to us. They have to have due
every
process
state is
taken out.
different, Cash. Every state's different. West Virginia just so happens to be a one-party state with recording laws under federal law, which means you don't have to tell them shit. I recorded them for months, dude. And these, all right, this case file audits that I got, for instance, I'd go every 3 months and request the same fucking thing. And I'd be damned if these idiots didn't try to go back, and each one they sent me, they changed the numbers and they went and edited it to make it look less than what it was. And it shows the pattern. They done that. But when I filed and I called them, all right, when I found out I got my modification returned and it was denied. I called the child support office after I called the governor's office and told on them. The woman, I recorded her too, Deanne something or other, but she was the supervisor there. She said it did not matter. All right, I called her 2 days in a row. The first time she's like, it does not matter if you can't work. It's per the judge. We have to impute income regardless of your financial situation. I was like, well, that's bullshit. That's a way to get the federal government. Okay. And then the second day I called, I said the same things. And then she said it does not matter. It's per the legislator.
Right.
So who am I suing here? The governor, who am I suing? The judge or the legislator?
You don't even know who to sue.
They've covered it up. They've completely tried to whitewash everything and cover everything up. In 2009, a police officer almost killed me, dude. I was handcuffed on my stomach, being tased while he beat me in the head. It took 8 hours for them to stitch my head enough to put 17 staples in my head. Still not on my record. And that's because the mother of my child found notebook after notebook of notes from me writing down, documenting what my toddler was telling me. And I had it all. I signed every page. And at the end of it, I attest under penalty of perjury that this is true, the best of my knowledge. I signed that notebook and had it notarized in front of a notary, turned that whole entire notebook into a legal standing document. She found all that shit and disappeared with my child. I didn't find him until he was in first grade. And that's because of forensic interview. My little sister, she had him out of like 3 towns over in one of my niece's schools. And my little sister run into her nephew that we couldn't find for 2 years.
Wow.
But it doesn't matter. All that documentation, all that proof doesn't matter because the judge refused to look at it. He laughed at me. 9/28/2015. I said, Your Honor, I want due process. He said, we don't do due process in family law. When I went to get a copy of that hearing,
And he
they
would
tried
say
to
it
tell me
too.
that date was carried. No, they said that date was continued. I was like, no, you ma'am, because I've kept everything, dude. I still have my original paperwork
Travis, we gotta
from
wrap you down, brother.
where they initially. Yeah,
I don't
I
know.
know, my
I don't know.
bad. But anyways, they.
I don't have to do one of those clean wrap ups. So I got to be like a fucking like regular dude and be like, hey man,
Yeah.
you got an
All
amazing
right. Long
fucking
story
story.
short, get a long story short. Put it in writing. Get your complete case file audit. You're entitled to all that because you pay money into it. You can even request notes if they give them to you. Probably not because they talk crap in there about you because they've done it to me. But I have the original everything. I initiated everything, tricked into being a part of my son's life. The mother said she didn't know if he was mine, la da 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 da. I still
Right.
have all that original papers from 2009. Keep your
Travis.
documents.
Travis, thank you, man. Yeah, and I do appreciate you coming on, brother. You got a powerful story. You're an intelligent guy, and I hope to have you on again in the future, brother. And if you're not,
because I'm up to something, Cash. I'm
you're not a
working with
Patreon member, Travis, you know I'm on to something with this. You guys know I'm
Oh,
on to something.
I've been following you since the beginning,
No,
Cash. I was right there
man.
at the beginning too.
Come on, brother. I need you to be a
And
Patreon
thank you for your
member.
service and actually standing up with that damn flag inverted like it needs to be.
And
Because
I'm probably gonna fucking do it again.
there, yeah, well,
I'm probably
I
gonna do
want
it
to go.
again. Okay.
Yeah, I've been waiting
We're
on
on
unemployment since April, but I get that, and I'm going with you.
All right,
Like
brother.
I think that's another thing they're doing.
Well,
But
hey,
everybody document it. Keep documents. Keep all that paperwork. That paper trail can't be erased.
Right.
They'll edit it. Keep your originals. Always keep your originals. I have all
Keep
mine
your
for
originals.
10 years.
Thanks,
But
Travis.
I live out of state,
I gotta
so
cut
I'm
you, brother.
in the process.
I'm
right.
gonna boot you. I'm gonna boot you.
Well, I'll text you. I don't want people knowing my plans anyway. I don't know who
All right.
all's watching, but I'll text you on what's
Smart.
going on. But
All
I'm
right,
still
brother.
listening on the show, man. Keep
Okay,
it up,
big dog.
Cash.
Be good, buddy. Powerful freaking story, man. Holy, you guys see. So, working men got working dogs. But an amazing testimony about what that guy's been through. And somebody said, well, you know, I see Chris said that that he doesn't document things. You know, it's a worthless venture. It's not. It's not a worthless venture to the degree that there's going to come a point in time when the facts are going to need to come out, right? A point in time's coming when all of the facts need to come out. And when those facts, in fact, do come out, or when they do come out, you don't want to be standing there, you know, empty-handed. You want to have the material to reinforce that you are in the right. We know we're in the right, okay? But law is a matter of proving, right? It's a matter of proof. What can you prove? What can you show? If we sat down and had a conversation between three of us, and me, Bob, and John accuses Bob of hurting him or punching him in the face, I'm looking for a bruise. All right, I'm looking for are his knuckles busted? Is there some evidence of this? It's what you can prove. And what Amber has said here, you guys say hi to Amber Wintemute. She's a friend of mine and a wonderful, wonderful person, as you can tell, right? Just reading her comment is something that comments like that is partly why I still have faith in women. Right? If I didn't know women like Amber, I would have lost my faith in women, and maybe vice versa, right? With men. You know, we need more people like this. We need more people professing these types of good principles. You know, the current model of encouraging withholding children that is so prevalent in our society is disturbing. I mean, it's really disturbing if you think about it. On a pathological or sociological level, it's boggles the mind that one person would encourage a friend of theirs, a relative of theirs, to withhold children and to punish somebody. It's a punishment tool. Put him on child support. Just put him on child support. It's punishment. Tom Cotton is in the wrong 1,000,000%. People who are advocating for increases of child support are in the wrong 100%. because they're applying it across the board. Listen to me. They're applying it across the board. Fathers deserve equal custody in this country, and mothers who find themselves as the non-custodials, they deserve equal custody if they want it and if they're fit. Okay, but the state bears the burden of proof of showing you are not fit. But I'm telling you right now, you're speaking out of both sides of your fucking mouth when you say I'm fit for 4 days, but I'm not fit for 14. That's bullshit. You understand what I'm saying? Or 15, whatever, February or fucking June. Go ahead, play it. Are we wrapping up? What are we doing? Are we closing?
No, we're going to take a short coffee break, Cash. And give people a chance
dude,
to,
thank you. I needed that.
hear some great music from one of our artists, Nick Sky. And let's take
Put
a coffee
on
break,
Nick
everybody.
Sky. Turn him up.
Love on the inside now. Intimacy found in lovers' hearts. I've been searching for the one who will have mine forever. So far, have found none. All praying each other. Sometimes in different ways. Search for a true match. Each of our souls. And I've been searching for the feeling you get when you look into their eyes. You can see what's inside their soul, and you know they too. And I'm searching for the fire of intimacy inside the hearts of lovers. Fire of mine, I want someone to hold on to forever. This life wasn't meant to be lived alone. We need love and support to give it our all. Our hearts can be happy and minds overwhelming, but others help us get through and see the light, so together we can take control. Now we all pray for each other, sometimes in different ways. We search for true match to each of our souls. And I've been searching for the feeling you get when you hold a lover. You feel you're right at home, and there always be one. I'm searching for someone who can't believe me. So
it is your boy CJ. That is Nick Sky that you're listening to right there on exclusive here that we get to play his music. So if you're YouTube, Facebook, anybody like that might want to take this video down like you've done to the last two, we have exclusive permission from Nick Sky to play his music on this network. And we want to reach out to artists that are out there. If you'd like to hear your songs on Cash's show, reach out to Cash, reach out to our patron, reach out to our social medias, and you can hear your music on this channel. So Nick is going to be letting us use this entire library. And if you join as an artist, you get to be part of our artist group and collaborate and network with all the other artists from our channel. So that would be pretty awesome if we get more artists so we can get a genre. But we have, like I said, Nick here to listen to today. Cash is getting some coffee. We want to make sure that we take coffee breaks. These topics can get pretty tempting to get emotional for some people. Maybe grab yourself a donut, you know. That's always good. And what else can I pitch for you guys here that Cash wouldn't mind? Well, I'm sure he's got more to say about Tom Cotton. I'd like to speak to the Patreon real quick. So if you become a Patreon member of the channel, we're going to do a little bit of revamping of the Patreon, the price tiers, and kind of what you get for these. Look for us to add a sponsorship tier and things of that nature that will help kind of you'll get what you pay for. But I see Cash is back. Cash, you got anything you want to say about Patreon and what people will be getting if they decide to become a Cash Jackson Patreon member? Or you got nothing to say? Got your headphones in? Is he just petting his dog and can't hear us? Is that what he's doing? Is that what he's doing? He's just petting his dog, forgetting he's got a podcast. Live on the air.
Live on the air.
All right. Do it
Hey.
live. Do it live. That was a great call, the last caller there. I thought that he was really adequate in a lot of his documentation, and I can relate. But yeah, I was asking, do you have anything for what the Patreon's gonna have to offer? I was telling people that we are gonna revamp the pricing tiers and hopefully add a sponsorship tier as well. And
Well,
so
wait,
is there,
I think maybe for a lot of people, and I can't speak for everyone, I get more messages in my inbox on both my personal messenger and my public page. People know this, right? People are aware of this. They know that I get a lot of messages. I just don't know that they realize the extent to how many messages I actually get. And so it's extremely difficult for me to communicate with all of it, to have 100 different conversations going. It requires a lot of time, right? So a lot is asked of me. A tremendous amount is, and I'm trying to give it to the greatest extent possible. But I also have to survive. I got to pay bills, right? CJ's got to live. He's got to pay bills. We're trying to help as many people as we can, build a network, bring more people together, advance this idea of liberty, because especially the family law reform thing, you know, a lot of people kind of want to step away from the conversation once I get off of family law, and they shouldn't, because at the root of family law is a deprivation of liberty, right? And they're missing the other areas that are also impacting their lives because of deprivation of liberty. Working men and women have to learn and network with one another. We have to have more conversations like this on these types of levels, or in the even deeper conversations. I try and surround myself with people who are more intelligent than me, that know more than I do about things, and so I can learn from them, right? Kind of like a mentor, a father-son type relationship, or a mother-son, whatever. Is that it? Is that all you wanted me to add? That people have greater access to be able to reach me, CJ?
Sorry, I was just enjoying this awesome donut while you were monologuing. If you go
I'm sitting there looking at you like it's red. I'm like, this guy's eating a fucking donut.
If you download the Telegram app and you type in this link, and it's in the comments right now, if you copy that link, it'll take you to our public Telegram chat where you can interact with Cash 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you don't have to worry. You can link right up to them privately from Telegram. Listen, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, they censor and they suck. And we don't want to be using platforms that censor and take off your message and fight against you. So we started Telegram. We're going to do Patreon. And I was going to say that we're going to upload this show to rumble.com. Cash, we're going to create you a Parler account because, there's a guy.
I got a Parler account, I think.
Yeah, I know, but there's for the podcast. Here.
Oh, okay.
And so, but that guy, Dan Bongino, I've been listening to him long enough. When you listen to a guy for 400, 500 episodes, you kind of tend to feel like you know what he's going to say next, Right. And he bought out, some stock in Rumble and Parler and became that as a alternative to Twitter and YouTube. So, and they're going to be starting it to where you can start to do live on Rumble. So, all these big tech platforms that are censoring us, that's going to be, I think, where you're going to best reach an audience. So, all these people that are, sticking around on Facebook, all 15 of you,
Right.
we're grateful.
Well, I'm extremely.
Hey, because you're the dedicated, loyal following. You're the
Amber
audience.
is, Travis is.
Yeah, for sure. And that's not to say that there aren't other people out there that don't support your message, Cash, that aren't hustling themselves. I mean, so, but I think that we're going to get a bigger, larger audience once Rumble says you can go live there, and we'll start uploading there. So rumble.com/Cash Jackson.
Rumble in the jungle. I like it.
And then parlor.com and /Cash Jackson. We'll have the Warsaw podcast up. TikTok. Okay, listen, Cash.
We gotta get on TikTok
thing. Like, okay, fine. If you want a TikTok, you and Marina can TikTok your hearts away. We'll create
the TikTok about this.
For Cash Jackson. We will debut.
What is it about TikTok
videos here?
So opposed to?
TikTok has live, so I guess we'll go live on TikTok.
I think it's a great positive platform right now at this juncture. There's a lot of positivity on there.
Vermin Supreme got 3rd place in the Libertarian Party because of his TikTok following for president of the United States. It's a powerful platform that nobody's going to deny. It's just I only have girls, so all I see is TikToking girls like all day long planning their next TikTok, and I'm like, this app belongs to China and they're spying. I got the Chinese in my house right now. Like I can hear all the my drunk uncle talking in my head. So. Anyways, that's normally a sign that we should get to our next caller who is backstage.
Wait. Hold on. Next caller or article?
No, next caller. We have a call in. This is a call in broadcast.
Yeah, but I want to discuss the article.
Oh, well,
I want to discuss the article with the person coming onto the broadcast.
You're the boss. So the next article is about Scientology, huh?
No, it's not.
Well, that's
misleading article.
Okay. So I guess you'll have to give us the skivvy. So we'll get your next caller and we'll get the article on the screen.
Let's do it. No, okay. Here we go. No, I wanted you to play this video. Is there a video right there with her? That scary looking lady. Yeah. Is there I thought there's there we go. Hold on a second. He's gonna bring it up. Come on. It's buffering. I see it. Let's see the little spinny wheel down there. Hold on. Producer's down there producing. Don't be impatient. It's a fucking working man's podcast, okay? We're audio first, visual second. We're trying to bring up a visual.
As I'm an attorney, I'm going to direct my comments to the last 6 words of agenda item 2 concerning providing direction to staff during times of COVID, specifically local health officer Nicole Quick. Under Health and Safety Code 10-1000, you appointed her. By the way, I love you guys, but I have some very harsh words for you right now.
Get that ass.
Which by extension means you can unappoint her. And Sheriff Barnes is absolutely correct when he said under Health and Safety Code 10-1029, he can enforce the order, but he by no means has to, and it sounds like he won't. I want to backfill some of the due diligence I think was missing before her hiring.
Get it.
This woman is entirely unqualified for the job she now holds. After she graduated from medical school in Utah, her sole claim to fame is she went to work for her mother's methadone clinic prescriptions for heroin addicts. She was prescribing one opiate to guys who were trying to get off their favorite opiate. And then she came out of the sticks of Utah and made a brief pass at before she was lured down here with a $168,000 a year job. And she brought her boyfriend, Spencer Price, who was her mother's office manager at that methadone clinic. Stole home for themselves. Until 3 days ago when she took aim at the health and welfare of every single resident.
Could you please stick with the item?
She needs to be fired. She needs to be fired because she is taking aim at our health. Okay, she just put a target on our back. When you wear a mask, particularly outside, it drops your oxygen level hypoxically low, and that precipitates fatalities, which is why 2 kids running in China 2 weeks ago died while they were wearing a mask. If she wants to play Russian roulette with the health and safety of our county, I am going to one-up her. We are going to go to her front yard in front of her sidewalk in Irvine. We're going to do calisthenics in masks on her front doorstep. And when people start dropping like flies, and they will, I am going to ask every single first responder in a 30-mile radius to roll lights and sirens to her front door. And you had best pray that they can revive whoever went down.
Okay, your time is up.
If they can't, I will be asking, I'm going to wrap up OCDA's office to charge it as murder, because that is what it is.
Thank-
You don't want, last sentence, this dog and
Thank you. Next speaker.
Yeah, bro, she busted that ass up. So that's an attorney out there, and apparently I think that she's on. I just found out about her this morning. I was perusing through the news and found out about her, and I'm like, who is this fucking lady? And so she's an attorney out in California, and I think that she's working on the Trump defense team, I believe. But this was a swipe at her from whatever media that was that had that video on her. This was a swipe at her. I guess she's a Scientologist, maybe. That's something that we would have to investigate and find out. Maybe if one of you are looking her up and who she is, you can send it over to us. So it was kind of odd that they equated this Scientology, and this is a first for me. So this article essentially just linked Scientology to this attorney to the Trump administration and what they're driving for, which, speaking in that video, she's talking about them being mandated to wear masks, a mask mandate. She was in opposition to the mask mandate, and so she was voicing her fucking personal gripe with whoever the woman was that sponsored the bill or whatever, right? We have to get those names. And so I just found it odd that it was really strange that here in an article they're talking about Scientology, and Scientology. Apparently, this woman practices Scientology, or that's the allegation, rather. But then she's working on the Trump administration, or she's part of that team over there that's defending Trump or the bullshit in the election. Yeah. Oh, here we go. So she was on this Health Made Radio, and Dr. Michael Carfelt interviews. So her name was Leah Dundas. That's her name. A prominent human rights attorney. And recently she's been outspoken about the legality and implications of the mask mandates and social distancing. Until recently, her attention had been focused on. Now, I want you guys to check this out. Now, look, let's fuck it. We gotta hone in on. So I want to show you guys something. No, leave that up. I needed that. Until recently, so leading up to this, her doing this. So right now she's speaking out against the mask mandate, right? And the legality and the ramifications. That's what she's pissed about, and voicing her fucking disagreement. So this is the really important thing I want you guys to take note of. Now, again, this article, whoever put this shit up is equated her Scientology or something, right? So it was a swipe that using Scientologists, because everybody perceives that Scientologists are kooks, and they may be. I don't know. I don't personally know any Scientologists that I'm aware of. But either way, it was a swipe at her, and that was a character assassination. That was the first swipe, right? The character assassination of her. And I don't know anything about her, right? But I understand how the media works now. So they swiped her with the offhanded Scientology remark. I don't know what the fuck that has to do with anything. Because she's an attorney and she's opposing this mask mandate that's being supported by the left and by Democrats. And until recently, Leah's attention, here's a really important piece. This should raise your eyebrows. Until she was over here fucking up this city council, her attention had been focused on child sex trafficking in Asian countries. But the overreaction by U.S. and state governments has pivoted her attention back to the U.S. Read that again. But the overreaction by U.S. and state governments has pivoted her attention back to the U.S. she has sought to warn citizens of the obvious constitutional violations that have the potential ultimately to undermine our free society. Now, look, she was working in human trafficking. Let's review something, folks. Family fucking court. Okay, I'm going to keep beating this until everybody starts getting what I'm putting down. Family court predominantly pushes out the man, the protector, the provider. Okay, pushes that out of the picture. That sets up millions of mothers to being single mothers. So now millions of moms become single moms. It makes them easier targets for the state when an abuse or neglect allegation is made at the single mom. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, so take the dad out of the picture, right? Mom's now single mother, right? Single mom now working full time, trying to provide for herself. Maybe dad is a true deadbeat and dad does disappear, okay, and she's doing it all on her own. Then the state steps in and they provide the financial assistance, right? But when and if abuse, neglect allegations unfold, they're more likely that the mother will release the children to the state. When the state shows up and says CPS, and they've got police officers standing behind them, think of the scene that sets for that mother, right? And let's make it that 18, 19, 20-year-old young mother that sets the stage for the state to take the children. More children wind up in human trafficking rings from the United States than any other way. It's not through kidnappings and things like that. It's through the state legally taking the children, right? And that woman was combating human trafficking in Asia. CJ's whistling at me.
You know, the feds can call up these governors and say, you keep doing this and you keep blackmailing the counties, which is what our state's doing right now. Every time we turn around, Newsom is blackmailing one of the counties saying, if you don't do what I say, if you don't make your sheriff enforce the masks, if you open up your businesses without my blessing, if you let your private schools and public schools get open without my blessing, I'm going to withhold all your money from you next year. Well, you know what? Screw them. Two people can play that game. The feds can come in and say, if you do that, Governor, we're going to do the same to you. We're going to withhold all your federal money next year. And I think the time is ripe. I think it is overripe.
You heard the threat. We'll withhold your federal money.
Game two contango. Governors want to blackmail the counties. The feds can blackmail the governors. And I think it's high time that occurs.
Bro, that's some powerful shit coming out of an attorney's fucking mouth. And that's why they're trying to paint her as a kook. That's why that is a battleground for America. China, Russia, they have infiltrated the shit out of these states. Okay, California, New York, Illinois. You don't think so? No. Let me tell you, communism falls to the lowest denominator, the lowest person on the economic rung, right? The most oppressed. That's who communism appeals to. Because anything appears better than their current circumstances. Okay? That's why they're fucking attacking that woman. And that's what I want to talk to Jason about right now. Jason, what up, big dog?
What is going on, brother?
Man, how's your little one?
Oh, he's doing fabulous. He's in school today, thank God. But my oldest boy is home today. Turns out the nephew was exposed to somebody with COVID, so of course he's got it, and now it's a nightmare.
Well, yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, man. You know, we do acknowledge, of course, that COVID is real, that it is fucking dangerous, but it's not the zombie apocalypse, and people aren't dropping dead out there. And you know, these mask mandates, in my opinion, I don't know. Do you want my opinion first? You probably already know it. Right. Let me hear your opinion. Everybody knows my fucking opinion. Tell me yours.
The mask mandates are nothing but fear and control, man. What are they going to do? It's already coming out that you've got to wear the mask even after you get the vaccine. You get the vaccine, probably. You still got to wear. It's already been all over the mainstream media. Yeah. Once you get the vaccine, Fauci has said, still expect to wear the mask and social distance. This is never going away, ever.
Not as long as we sit here and fucking take it.
This whole it's the new normal thing. Normal's never coming back. We're living under communism right now. If you think about it, sit back and think about it. The government has shut down all of small business, all of it.
Hey, let me tell you something. If you're an adult, 25 or older, if you're not smoking weed right now, you probably should be, or you probably should start. Because this fucking world is going crazy fast.
Well, look at yesterday. You've got 6 states that have officially joined the actual lawsuit with Texas. 6 states have officially joined the lawsuit. They have signed on. They will participate in the lawsuit in the Supreme Court against the 4 other states. There's a total of 20 states involved in it somehow, some way. And now there's 20 that have sided with the 4 Democrat, the swing states where everything's so fucked up. So now we've basically got 20 on 20. This country is so fucking divided. It's not even funny. I'm actually scared right now. Either way the Supreme Court goes on this, it's just going to, I don't see a way out. I honestly don't. It honestly scares the shit out of me. And that woman's absolutely correct. These mask mandates they're just fucking insane. And her religious beliefs, Scientology, she worships her cat, her canary, whatever, that means absolutely shit to me or anybody else that lives in the real world. I don't care what you worship, you believe in. I really don't. But for Christ's sake, quit pushing your fear on other people.
Right. And that's what it amounts to. If people were to really consider, Jason, how they have voted, let's be honest. If the working man and woman sat back for a moment and thought to themselves, why do I vote for who I vote for? Do I actually know what they stand for beyond the rhetoric of, I support Second Amendment rights? I mean, that's it. That's all that we hear. That's all from the Republicans. That's all that we fucking get, right? We're that simple. We're that simple-minded, apparently, as working, straight, white, hetero men, borderline Christian men. What is it about us that the left hates so fucking much? That's something that we have to figure out. Why are they looking to divide so much? The division I see from the right, okay, is based more on the fact that they want to get into people's marriages, gay or not, whether or not that's legal. The people on the right want to get into whether or not we can smoke weed, right? We need a license. We need permission from the fucking government to do that. That's where the right really inserts themselves and pisses people off, I think, in the average home. The left, if you're a straight white man in this country, which I don't know how many millions of straight white men are in this nation, you're actually demonized and hated by the fucking left. That guinea is loud as shit.
Yeah.
That's a working man's house. That's a fucking guinea. That's a fucking guinea on a farm. If you don't know what that noise is,
I've got chicken. I've got a chicken coop. I've got ducks. I've got horses. I live on a fucking zoo. My wife, she loves animals. I've got 2 rots, a blue heeler. I've got 5 fucking dogs, brother.
All right. Hey, that's a country house, bro.
4 or 5 cats.
Yeah.
It's insane. But
yeah, country folks love critters, man.
Oh yeah, this boy will survive. I'm telling you now. I talked with the other half last night. She comes home, she gets her news updates from me. We don't watch the news. I watch it. I come on here, we bullshit. I watch a couple independent news journalists.
Look at that, man.
Other than that, yeah.
Look at that.
This shit's gonna go on forever. People are so scared right now that you come out in fucking public and you're not wearing a mask, you're gonna get them sick. Well, that whole train of thought's been around fucking forever. You come out in fucking public and you got a cough, you're probably going to get people fucking sick if you got the flu. You got an average cold bug. How the fuck do these people think that shit spreads?
Well, you know what? I mean, it brings up an interesting point because it's going to roll. It's going to roll. And I didn't plan this on purpose. It just happened. But the next issue I wanted to talk about, which you're definitely in the category of somebody who should weigh in on this because you're a veteran and you served and you probably still have friends in service. But how will this vaccine that's going to be forced upon our service members? They don't get a choice, okay? And I've already been arguing with some fucking sailors in a sailor group that I'm in, for prior drill instructors, right, recruit division commanders, about this mandate, that this vaccine is going to come out, and they're telling the military. Let me tell you what the military is telling me, right? Through my loved ones, the people that I'm directly in line with that are in the military. They're telling them, it is not going to be mandatory, or it will be mandatory, right? And then I've got other ones going, no, it's not going to be. So already there's conflict between what I'm hearing, right? In one branch of service, they're saying, yeah, it's going to happen. You're going to get it. You don't get a choice. In the Navy, they're saying, well, it's going to be optional. It's going to be optional. And I got to challenge that and go, well, hold on a second. The fucking flu shot isn't optional in the military. They make you get that damn thing. They make you get that flu vaccine. You don't get a fucking choice. You're ordered to go over to medical, get your flu vaccine, and there's no choice in the matter.
There wasn't a vaccine in the military that was optional when you were getting ready to deploy,
unless you had an allergy to it. That was it. If you were going to have an allergic reaction, in fact, they might have fucking DQ'd you.
Yeah, you had better have medical proof somewhere in your file that said.
Read what's on the screen. Hook us up,
brother.
Man.
I ain't got my military glasses.
Oh, that's okay. Hold on, I got it. Part of it's covered up, CJ, underneath that amazing Cash Jackson logo, that handsome son bitch up there in the corner. You drag it down for a second. Is that what you want me to read?
It will remain voluntary.
As long as it is not officially approved by the FDA, a process that could take 18 months. It will remain, okay. It will, oh, thanks. Okay, so from military.com, it will remain voluntary as long as it is not officially approved by the FDA. Okay, so this is what we're hinging on then, I guess. For the military, as it is not officially approved by the FDA, a process that could, but see, there you go. They're working towards that end, a process that could take 18 months to 2 years. So she's acknowledging that the process is already in place. She's thereby acknowledging that they are working to that end, that they get a FDA approval. And then at that moment in time, it then becomes mandatory. It's still the same set of fucking problem that they're pursuing, that it should not be mandatory for these service members. We don't know what it's going to do to people on a wide scale. We don't. I've already seen photos of volunteers who took this vaccine who developed Bell's palsy and their fucking faces drooping after they took the vaccine. I saw a picture of 4 of them. But our service members aren't going to get an option. They don't get a voice in this, people. Those of us who are on the outside need to start calling this bullshit out, because there's those of them who are saying, hey, I still want to have a baby. I've not had a baby, or I want to have more babies. There's those that are saying, as young men, hey man, I'm reading that the COVID, not the vaccine, but COVID itself is now, they've identified it's affecting our organs. It's being found in the male reproductive system. And so those who are intelligent enough are reading these articles. They're discovering that, well, hold on a second. There is something in there that indicates that it could potentially be harming my reproductive system, right? But they're going to give me the vaccine for it. So now you're all but, are you all but guaranteeing that they don't fucking know? That's the problem. They don't know. Nobody knows.
Yep. And
which one?
You're
Second
an
paragraph?
asshole. If you
Second
don't
paragraph?
take the vaccine, you're an asshole. You're going to kill somebody. But you don't wear the mask, you're an asshole. You're going to kill somebody. How
Right.
about, it's my body, my choice. They love that saying when you're talking about babies. My body, my choice. Well, how about my body, my choice? I'm just not going to take the vaccine.
CJ, Why don't you just highlight it for me? Highlight what you want me to read.
As COVID-19 continues to spread to communities across the country, the Department of Defense and the Department of Veterans Affairs are providing daily updates on the number of presumed and presumptive cases of the virus in the military community, as well as the numbers of tested administered in the military members. As of December 9, officials said there have now been X amount of numbers. See, these numbers, there, 2/3. There's a lots of evidence.
There's false positives. That's the
that there's
fucking
false
problem.
positives. So the
Like
point is that
1/3.
you can't even get accurate information about it, and so
No.
But again, so the vaccine being voluntary for now, like that's the whole key point that we're trying to make in
now.
this. For
Right.
now,
Thank you.
yeah. But when I put something on the screen, Cash, I'm asking you to read it, man. That's
Well,
like
see, I didn't know if you wanted like a specific, because previously, like you highlighted something.
it helps reinforce the points you're making. Is all I'm
How
saying.
about if you want to do, here we go, if maybe first paragraph, second paragraph, third paragraph, or just
all of it?
all.
I'm that crazy
Okay, just
guy
go.
waving my hands
This
like,
is-
read this.
Yeah, right. Okay, well, I don't know. Give
CJ,
me a
you're
line.
making me hungry.
Morning, Jason.
Are you eating
Morning,
something else?
CJ.
Is that another one, or is that the same one?
This is my third one. We'll just say for posterity
Right.
purposes.
Right.
CJ's eating breakfast for me because I go to the gym, so I don't eat breakfast anymore.
Man, I love breakfast. Breakfast is my favorite meal. If you ever want to have a meal with Cash Jackson, breakfast. You pretty much can't go wrong. I will eat.
No,
I love
it's-
breakfast, man.
Pretty hard to
Oh boy.
ruin
Oh boy.
eggs.
Working man, technical difficulties.
It happens.
Yeah.
We got to wake up every now and then. But no, this court stuff, it tears me up. It really does. We got activists pretending to be judges. We got Tom Cotton, a lawyer, pretending to be a vet.
I like that. I like that.
The highest he got was a captain in the
I'd like to
Army.
talk to some veterans from his old unit. You think we
He
could-
was committed. If he was
I want to
commissioned,
find out more about him.
I'm trying
like to
to
find out more about it.
remember the data you showed on him. If he graduated or was commissioned in 05, received the rank of captain. He's been in the military. He's been in Congress now, or what have you, for what do you say, 6 years?
Yeah.
So
something like
that's, let's see, it's 21, fixing to be 21. So he stayed in for his first term, basically, in the military, and received the rank of captain. Got a Bronze Star because he was in a leadership position.
that.
Because that's how they.
Good. That looks good for office, brother. Look at that. Stamp, stamp, stamp. Ivy League school, fucking Army officer, law student, stamp,
Because
stamp,
I'll tell you,
stamp,
I will
Bronze
tell you
Star.
right now, my
Seal that
first
bitch
tour, I did one tour in Afghanistan. I was an E4. They were giving them Bronze Stars out for E6 and above, no matter what the fuck they did. They were in a leadership position,
Fuck
E6 and
yeah.
above. You got a fucking Bronze Star at the end
Tell
of
it
that
like
fucking
it
tour.
is. Tell
If you
that
never
shit
even,
like it is.
you never left the fucking fob. All you did was make goddamn coffee the entire
Right.
fucking tour. You got a Bronze
Hey.
Star. So that Bronze Star don't mean
Yeah.
shit to me.
Yeah.
You walk
hey,
around
fucking
all day
slap
and
that motherfucker.
he received a Bronze Star during his
Get
service.
him. Get
So did a
him.
fucking secretary.
Get that motherfucker and tell people all about what that award really means. Thank you.
So did an
honest.
RTO, a radio operator, received
You
a
know
Bronze
how many-
Star.
You know how many sensitive ass fucking veterans out there are getting butt hurt over what you're saying right now? I
know-
mean, they're
I
getting
know-
mad. There's some service members out there that if they were watching this, bro, these motherfuckers would come undone.
I know a veteran.
Some veterans
that
are some of
vet-
the most sensitive pansy motherfuckers I've ever met. I'm not gonna lie.
I
to
know
you.
a
Some of them
veteran.
are.
I'm not going to throw his name out. I know a vet that bent down, picked up a piece of shrapnel after a rocket attack, got a cut on the hand, and got a fucking Purple Heart.
I don't doubt it.
So you can throw out fucking medals to me all fucking day long, and it don't mean fucking shit
Well,
to
here's
me
the thing.
unless you're walking around with that Medal of Honor around your neck, and it
CJ,
better
I gotta-
be a good
I
story,
gotta-
and it better
I gotta
not
get
be
my
an Audie
charger.
Murphy story. But
Where's he going?
He might
What's up,
got a.
Jason?
Someone might have knocked on the door. I didn't quite hear what he said. My mouth
Hopefully
was
it's not
running
the
again.
hopefully it's not the federal government. You know, I have a Purple Heart from Iraq 2008 just from getting knocked out from a bomb blast. But I was the guy that was like lowest man on the totem pole. I was the guy that was ordered to make the coffee. You know?
Yeah,
I mean,
maybe you should have got a Bronze Star, brother.
fuck no.
I'm telling you right
The only
now.
reason why I got a Purple Heart is because I was knocked unconscious.
I know a sergeant first class. That was his rank in Afghanistan that never left the fob. Spent an entire year making a first sergeant coffee. The entire 15 months we were in Afghanistan, never left the fucking fob and got a Bronze Star.
Yeah, I was only in Afghanistan for like a month. Like a day under a month. Yeah. I did a full deployment in Iraq.
Yeah, I did a couple of them there. Talk
Nah,
about
I wouldn't wish more than one on anyone.
Fob Hammer, my least favorite fucking place.
Yeah,
love
I just
that
went.
fucking
I just went to
bus
Al
club.
Assad. That was it. Al
Problem fucking
Assad
solved.
and Al Anbar.
Problem solved.
Well, hopefully it wasn't too big of a problem.
I was in Camp Leatherneck before it was Camp Leatherneck. It was still Camp Bastion in Afghanistan, and the British were running it.
I like them Brit fellas, man. Hey, we gotta get some Brit veterans on here. You want to? I got some friends over. I got some.
I
veterans
got.
over-
Yeah, we both.
Yeah.
do. Yeah. We all
Yeah.
do. I'm sure.
Australia. Let's get some of our Australia brothers on
Well,
here.
they have the
So
same
we can talk
link.
about the same working man fucking problems that they have.
Amen.
Because we got the same ones and people don't even know it. We need to like stack ourselves. America, UK, fucking identify them. Let's do that.
You and
Veterans-
Jason want to cover the last story together? I got about 10 minutes here before I gotta go. So
Okay. Working
Great.
men's got to go. Let's
well,
go.
yeah, working man gotta keep working.
We got one more, or was that
yeah,
it?
yeah, you got one more story for me in the queue.
Oh, let's get it.
Nope, wrong one.
Hopefully it's a really good one.
Oh yeah, this one, dude. What a tragedy! Holy shit, man! I read this morning. My mother sent it to me. Man serving 90-year sentence for selling marijuana released from prison. And this is December of 2020. So this is a recent article. This guy just released from prison. Now, if you go into the article, there was a just one of those kind of prisoner reform groups that fights to get innocent people, like an innocent people type project, but it wasn't them. And anyways, they got this guy out of prison. And dude, his story, and this is a testament to men and their strength, okay? Because it's predominantly men that serves in prison, all right? Especially for any type of drug crimes, and that's what he went to prison for. He was believed to be the longest serving. All right. Look at that.
It was a rough time, I'll tell you that. It was a rough ride. Family right here. We're going to celebrate at the Rustic Inn and eating some crabs this afternoon.
You'll notice something with these stories. They never, ever tell you how much marijuana that they were caught with or how many times they were caught. They never tell you them fucking stories.
Mainstream media keeping it from us. That's the
'cause-
mainstream media in bed with the whole fucking shindig, right?
Because I will promise you right now, he wasn't caught with an ounce of marijuana if he got that much
No,
time.
because the working
That's-
man can't afford that shit anyway.
That's the part that kills me with these stories. That you'll always and I'm a little biased because I was a corrections officer. Granted, I was only a corrections officer for a year, but when you go in and you start working in the prisons. I worked at the maximum security here in Oklahoma State Penitentiary, the only actual
Guarded
penitentiary.
dangerous prisoners. Hold on, let's identify that. We just glaze over that shit like it's no big deal. You guarded
Yeah, I've guarded the death row here. The bad of the bad of the
The
bad
bad
in
of the
Oklahoma.
fucking bad. You're in there keeping an
And
eye on them, right? Your life at
you
risk at all times.
you walk in there, and when you first
That's some
walk
scary
in,
shit,
they always start fucking with the new guys. And
right?
they'll be like, "It's your fucking fault I'm in here." I'm like, "Okay, it's my fault. Yeah, whatever." You go in, you pull the guy's jacket out, because in each pod you'll have the prisoner's jackets, and you're like, "What'd this guy do?" And he'll have told you, "Well, I'm in here because I was selling weed." And you go look, and the guy's rap sheet stretches for 20 years. And while, yeah, he's in jail this time because he was caught with a trunk full of weed, he's also got additional charges on this stint because he stabbed 2 cellmates. So now he is up to 90 years in prison. But
Right.
on all of his previous charges, he was caught with 9 ounces of weed, 5 pounds of weed, distributing heroin. You know, they got a laundry list of stuff. But this is just the latest charge on him. Was he's in prison now because he had 3 kilos of marijuana in the trunk of his car. They never want to tell you everything.
They keep that
They
shit
never do.
away, and this is what we know, okay? Because we talk about this shit amongst working men and women, and even our police officers. Here's the thing. Here's what really bothers me, is that even our police officers know this. I'm not one of those bash the blue guys, or I'm all in for blue support, because you got to ask yourself at the end of the day, as a police officer, when you go to fucking work, we can hear the ducks in the background. As a police officer, when you go to work, how much of your time is spent writing citations? And how much of your time is actually spent on violent crime, actually protecting? Okay. If I'm going to pay a sumbitch for something, if I want private security, and let's be honest, that's what you are. Okay. You are public security. You're the public security. Okay. I don't give a fuck with the Supreme Court. I honestly don't give a shit what the Supreme Court said. I'll say it. I don't give a fuck. I don't think that the average person wants a police officer out there writing citations and roughing people up for having some weed in their fucking boot. Okay. Which is not where I keep mine. But we don't want police for those things. We're not hurting anybody. And just like this guy, a 90-year sentence. And at that time, the maximum was 14 to 17 years. That was their legal maximum, was 14 to 17, but the judge gave him 90 and nobody gave a fuck.
Well, that tells me there was multipliers in there. That's why I said that news story is not telling you the entire story. They're just giving you they're just giving you the sob part of it. Was, you know, yeah, he was arrested because he was caught with the drugs, and this heartless judge gave him 90 years. The judge just goes by what the DA presents, with the multipliers added to it, and then there's going to be a maximum and there's going to be a minimum. Now, we the people, we vote on that stuff, and we never realize we vote on it. That's why I'm so huge on local elections. They just tried to pass, and I'm going to step off in it. I think it was like Proposition 805 over here, where they wanted to lower all of these violent crimes and let people out. And CJ, if you get time later and you want to do research on it, you can.
Oh, yeah, but I've seen that. But
it
think
got
about
turned
that
down over here because a lot of the crime, it was going to be based on something that was passed last year. Well, it wasn't going to retroactive to those crimes that now got shifted down to misdemeanors. And some of those crimes were like child sex.
What was their justification?
Beating women.
I want to know what the motive was. What was the motive and the justification?
Non-violent drug crimes. They want to let out the non-violent drug people. But in the law that they tried to they passed last year was people that beat women, people that abuse children. Those
people that were actually convicted.
Not those people were now going to be considered non-violent. So they too were going to get out under 805. So now, not only were we going to be letting out the petty drug dealers, we were going to be letting out people that were having sex with children, people that were beating women. So I was naturally a fuck no, because you got to look at everything that's in the bill. They'll put up this great title.
You mean you got to be
for a bill.
responsible, and you got to be responsible and being an adult and do like what we were really actually taught to do. I mean, this is an important aspect that we were taught, right? We can draw out the good and the bad of our educations. To be thorough, read the fucking thing.
Yeah, people love to post studies. They'll say marijuana does all this wonderful stuff for you. Always look at who paid for the study.
Sure.
Look at what organizations paid for that study. Look, they say the same thing about cigarettes. Cigarettes will kill you this way. Look at who paid for the study. They'll say vapes do this. Look at who paid for the study. You want to look at the studies that are paid for by groups that don't have vested interest in the outcome of the studies.
Okay, so let me ask you this. The same, playing devil's advocate, the same could be said in return here, that, for instance, whatever my message is, whatever I believe and express, people could equate to, well, you get Patreon members and you're paid to express that. Would that be a fair assessment or no?
No, because your channel is based off your personal experience and your opinion on a specific matter. It's an opinion. You're not basing anything you say to be actual fact. I'm not. It's my opinion. If you come out with a study, if you take the money you make off of this right now and you come out with a study tomorrow and you say this is by God fact, and here's my proof. Now you're taking that money and you're claiming everything you say is fact.
Okay. Fair enough.
So now you are biased. That's a biased study. That's the same way with political polls. You got to look at who ran the poll. What do they have to gain by the poll?
Absolutely.
All these anti-smoking commercials and shit you see on the Be in the Know and all that crap. Look at who pays for the commercials. Of course they're going to say that shit.
Did you just say you're not anti? Did you just say you're for smoking?
Man, it's just a hypocrisy in that shit. Someone's life choices should not be that big of a deal to the average person. It really shouldn't. It does not affect. How in the hell does me standing outside in a park, smoking a cigar on a bench, and you're not sitting directly next to me? How the fuck does that affect a kid 60 feet away playing on a slide? It doesn't.
Well, that's fair. Yeah, I guess probably the
I can
argument is going to be
understand
that,
in a restaurant, because I don't smoke in my own home.
The smoke drifts, it drifts. I mean, if you're not cognizant of your surroundings and you're just a general prick and you just sit down and start smoking, just like COVID, right? COVID doesn't just sit stagnant, right? When you're 6 feet away, because there's air circulating amongst you and all over you. There's normally a slight breeze or a current, so your smoke drifts and.
Yeah, but it would have to be continual to hurt that child. It would have to be like nonstop. The occasional wind drift, and so, but you see what I'm saying? Is not going to kill somebody. So you can't. These people walking up and trying to destroy people's lives because they don't like the smell of something, or it's a bad influence. These kids see you over here smoking, they might pick up a cigarette. They might get struck by lightning. They might fall off. Life is full of just bad shit.
Right. You know what?
Are we gonna Are we going to regulate everybody just to stay in their house wrapped in bubble wrap for the rest of
No,
eternity?
yeah, I agree with that, right? I agree that we shouldn't be regulating. I'm just saying that I think that government has a responsibility, or the private company really bears the responsibility of informing their consumers, right? They bear the responsibility. Government bears the responsibility of holding them to a principle, a basic natural man's law principle of doing no harm to others, right? And that includes giving them a product knowing full well, and not informing them that, hey, this can hurt you, right? So if you're going to sell a product to that degree, well, but you as a man, as an individual, you also bear the responsibility of asking the question of, can this harm me? Are there any studies on it? You bear the responsibility of what you put in your fucking mouth, right? At the end of the day, whatever you ingest, unless somebody's forcing it down your throat, like our communist education system, if they're not, forcing it down your fucking throat, and you make a choice to take something without asking questions, there's kind of a natural order to things. Like some people just fucking die because they eat, mushrooms at random. Right?
Darwinism.
Yeah. I
it
call
just
it natural
kinda happens.
selection. Your stupidity selects you for fucking death. I'm sorry. What do you want me to tell you?
People's lives just go on. You're going to make bad decisions, and hopefully you learn from them and you grow up. And that is the one thing that just drives me nuts. People are so afraid to learn from experience. They think that the handy little thing that I'm holding in my hand to be on this show is the be all end all. I'm telling you, if the internet ever crashes, our society is just fucked, because we have become so dependent on the government. Right now we're living under communism. People don't even realize it. They have shut down small business. Only the major corporations right now are the only ones making any money. The elites are the only ones making money, and everybody's dependent, from Republican to Libertarian to Independent to Democrat to Green Party. Everybody's out there right now screaming for that stimulus check. We look like a bunch of little chicks in that nest begging for that mama bird to come in with that little itty bitty fucking worm and
Here's
feed
Mama
us.
Bird right here. She done tossed me a little worm. Look, Lillian asked me if I'm lining up for the vaccine. I might get in the line for the vaccine. Why not?
That's what we all look like right now.
Fuck it, I'll get in line. See what happens.
I don't like to throw out plugs for other people's shows, but Tim Pool put that out last night. He was like, right now we're living under social or communism, and I was like, wait a minute, we are.
How about this?
We
this?
are all relating, waiting for the government to come tell us something,
How about
to
this?
come give us money.
I'll tell you what. My supporters, I'll tell you what. Here's what I'm going to do. When this vaccine comes out, I'll go stand in a line, in a vaccine line with you. We'll go right on up to the table, right? Here to get my vaccine. Whatever. I don't know. Is it going to be like they did in school before? Just like they would collect blood from us. In high school we'd go in, and in my school we had to sit up on the fucking stage. I'm out. I don't know if she thought I was serious or not. No. I'm answering your question. Am I going to get in line? I'm answering your question. I'll get in the line. You should ask the appropriate question. Use the correct words to communicate appropriately what you really want to know. Am I going to take the vaccine?
Ta-da.
So consider your questioning and just put it to me appropriately. So basically what I'm saying is get to the fucking point.
All right, so I'll be the audience ombudsman for this one and ask for her, since she didn't type it out, unless she's already out. But Cash, do you plan on getting the vaccine for COVID-19?
Negative, Ghost Rider.
All right. I didn't think so. I was wondering why it was taking so long to get to that point. But yeah, hey,
shows are
right.
animated.
I get that, man. It's just
point.
her attention span was like, if you don't deny it right off, you couldn't even no foreplay in that one.
You know what? That's
Not-
a bad thing too. Look, our society has really gotten away from foreplay due to porn, right? And 5-minute clips on Pornhub. Our society has really largely moved away from foreplay. And that's a tragic fucking thing, man. I remember, like in high school, like first base and second base. And I was like, it was exciting. That shit was exciting. You were like, hoo, hoo, hoo. Man, I'm not advocating for
lessons on the birds and the bees.
And
I want to be clear here. Young
just
men
to
and
help
women,
cash out, and
there's a
CJ and myself,
there's a
because
cost to that being fun.
none of us are doctors. I will recommend that everybody speaks to their personal private doctor about the vaccine.
That's a working man fucking
If you are
disclaimer.
contemplating whether or not to get to the vaccine, speak to your.
Thank you, Jason.
Boom!
Got it.
Fucking
Got
working
him.
man grand slam.
Got
Get
him.
fucked. That's a
Oh,
get
man.
fucked from a working man. That's how you put it to him. Thank
Hey,
you, Jason.
Hey, Cash. So I got to wrap up here in just a minute, but I wanted to be
Do
able
not
to take.
take our advice.
His connection's lagging.
Yeah, mute him. Mute him real fast. Hurry up, mute him. Mute
all
him.
right.
That's what you're gonna say.
All right. He's getting jacked up there. So I'll leave it till he clears up backstage. All right. So real quick, before we do head out for the day, I want to explain Patreon for Patreon. So we did get our first patron member. Cash, who was our patron, our first
Christine
patron
in
member?
New York. One of my friends. I've known her for quite a few years. I'm not going to say her full name because I'm not going to disclose her personal stuff there. But she's a friend of mine, and I'll say she's in New York. And New York's got like 12 million people or something. So, Christine, thank you so much for being my very first Patreon member, for your faith and belief in me. You've been here for me for many years now, and you've been a great friend. I'm looking forward to spending time with you and your family the next time I come back up to New York and the New Jersey region. In fact, I got a really cool offer to come to New York to do something for several months. And I want to discuss this with those of you on my show and see how you feel about it, because I don't know that any of you would guess what somebody wants me to do for them in a political nature, if you will, up in New York. I'm wanted in New York. They want me to come to New York and hang out for several months.
But you know what's really cool? If you want, this is where, again, Patreon is so great, because after this show ends, what we put out in here to the public, Cash has a whole place on Patreon where he can go backstage, do live streams just for you, exclusive, and he can do it based on which tier you select. So if Cash wants to speak to his VIP patrons only,
can I give something away? Can I, CJ? Like, CJ doesn't want me to reveal some fucking cool information.
No, I want you to reveal the information. Reveal it.
Look, I got a phone call yesterday, and I had a conversation with a gentleman who is running for a city council position in New York. Now, I'm not going to say which one. He's running for city council in New York, and he has asked for me to come and be his campaign manager. The mystery is, who is it and why?
Right.
That's the mystery.
Before you accept something like that, I think you'd want to definitely work out, how you handle things with New York. Now, again,
I would love for some working man input.
I mean,
on
maybe
this.
have him on the show, interview him first.
I'm a white guy in the South.
Maybe
and
we
I'm gonna
interview
go
him first.
Hold on, think about this. Now, to me, it's an honor, right? I just want to throw that out there.
Right.
Okay?
I'm not saying it's
I
not, but
want
we
to throw that
interview
out
first.
there. I want to throw this out there, right? I am honored, number one, that somebody would even consider me to come and run their campaign, right? As he's somebody else, right? The Cash Connection works as the Cash Connection does. Somebody that I know put this guy onto me, and the guy started watching my stuff and listening to my material. And he was like, man, for whatever reason, he likes my message. He likes how I do things. He sought me out, not the other way around. And so a guy from New York, of all people, thought this guy would be the guy to run my campaign. So I'm honored by that. I mean,
absolutely.
It's either, you know, I'm honored. I mean, the guy potentially could be insane by asking me to do it. He could be crazy. He could be desperate.
It could give you a whole new platform in New York, though.
But it doesn't matter. It doesn't.
You can also go say hi to Larry Sharp for me, would you?
I love Larry Sharp.
Go
man.
say hi to Edmund Welsh over at Disgusted Dads. You know, like have fun with that. But again, so
Felix Campo
but I would say again, that's something we should bring on for an interview for the show, for sure.
Is that fair? I'll tell you what.
Absolutely. Before you be the guy's campaign manager and commit to that, why don't you interview the guy first?
Well,
instead of him interviewing you, flip the script and you interview him.
Well, hold on. Yeah, that's part of the dilemma.
You can go run up and challenge AOC up in New York. There are some benefits to this.
Yeah, I will say this. Here's the dilemma. let me share my dilemma. Okay, maybe you guys are going to help me come to solutions faster than I would have on my own. Maybe you guys, maybe the input of you know, those of you who are really supporters and have been there for me and continue to be there for me, maybe it's time that I did take your voice into greater credit than maybe what I've done in the past.
Right. And there's a great way you can do this. I'm trying to tell you
it's a working man sales pitch.
It is a working man sales pitch, of course, Cash. But see, the thing with Patreon is that you, Cash, are responsible to doing content for your patrons. Patreon makes it so you have to engage the people that are paying you.
Be responsible,
or they won't take that person's money from them because you're not fulfilling your end. So it's a great way for you to help and for people that truly do support you to build a monthly revenue that you can use to rely to make for traveling, for accommodating guests that might need it, for donating to charitable causes that you guys want to. Well, there's a whole benefit to what people use with their Patreon money to put back into their community. At once,
here's the thing. If I were to go to New York, right? So here's one of the problems. One, I'll discuss some more of the issues. One, I got to go to New York in January. So I'd have to go to New York in January. Petition gathering is in fucking February in New York. Now I'm going to ask New York this and any other state because I don't know. Why in God's name would you make your citizens gather signatures in the coldest fucking month of the year? Why?
Voter suppression, make it hard, timing of laws and legalities, things it takes to audit.
I know, but you're doing it to yourselves. You're shooting.
It doesn't make
any sense.
Yeah, no, it
doesn't
not
make any sense.
If voting mattered, Cash, it'd be illegal, and we would be fighting for our right to vote.
Gathering signatures in February is fucking cruel. That's
unusual. Yeah, it's
stupid. I wouldn't send out any person, and if me and my buddies are sitting around, it's imagine.
Maybe they should be required to do it via horseback.
Imagine what it took to get that level of idiocy and disdain for your fellow man. And you know who did that? A fucking attorney, I bet you.
Just for the record, that's a smart idea to interview the guy. Just because when the audience says CJ is telling the truth, I'm going to let you know that you should interview the guy first.
Okay.
But before you just go riding off into New York being a campaign manager because it's a Tuesday, I'd like to go back to playing some Wu-Tang. Maybe Wu-Tang can reach out, let us play some of their music. These are all things that we're going to be organizing. Reach out to me. A good way to do it is at that link on our channel for Telegram. I'm monitoring that. Cash monitors that. We get in that daily. Cash, Jason, I was going to bring Jason back on to close out the show with you, but looks like he's out. So we'll obviously get Jason back. I wanted to say each show we should give away a membership in our Patreon thing, in our chat. So if you're watching, you can win entry if you can't afford entry, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I like
a contest.
The problem. I like that you identified a
contest, right?
You know what's important, man. You identified a problem, you propose a solution, you implement the fucking solution.
Yeah, it's funny how good ideas work, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So
I would say Jason's called in and been the best caller on all broadcasts. So
I have to agree.
I mean, he's called in most consistently, so why don't we make him the initial victor? And
Okay.
we put him in that chat. We can get him there, and he can get the same link that we
Okay.
use to go live on this platform. You will get every time we go live, so you can join Cash as easy as clicking the link. And check it out, Jason's already back. That's how easy having the link is to get back on the broadcast.
Hey, what's going on?
You missed your being the first time award for our recipient into our
Man.
Patreon group.
There's something wrong with my mic.
He
or
was
something.
he was in the Army. He had to have the Air Force get him to where he needed to go anyway. So,
So congratulations.
I'm back. Internet.
You don't even know what you won.
On my end.
he don't know. Yeah, I don't
Cash.
think he knows what he got.
Hey, Cash, tell him what he won. I'll see you guys on Monday.
You got a back season pass to fucking Cash Jackson seasons. It's you. You're
Cool.
so lame.
I didn't
You're
even
lame.
know I was winning something.
That's because you were backstage. CJ had you sitting back there. No, he proposed a good solution to a problem that we talked about, and it was for selecting a membership level. Some people just they can't afford even $3 a month, and I get it, right? Every fucking penny they got, it's wrapped up in litigation. It's wrapped up in taking care of their families. But not everybody can become a paying Patreon member. And so we want to make sure that we give people an opportunity to do that, to hang out with us backstage, have other discussions and conversations, some of which are maybe more personal that we don't really get out here and share with the general public. But there's kind of another layer of, friendship where, we share more things amongst one another, more intimate and personal stories that, we might not necessarily talk about in front of everyone. And it's just a close circle of people that support one another. It's, it's a different interactive experience, and it's something that CJ was correct in saying that you have been the best person about calling in and spending time with us and hanging out with us. We know that you're a disabled veteran too, like myself, and I don't want to give you charity, man. I mean, you're just, at this juncture, you're an integral part of the show.
Well, I appreciate that. I enjoy coming on. I feel like we don't have enough people in your age bracket trying to teach the young kids.
Right.
I don't want to say the right way to do things, but I think it's a forgotten way.
Right. It is. It's largely forgotten, and the way that our society has went, and it's pulled us away from doing what men used to do, which is really just kind of, they would sit down and dialogue. I mean, men would hang out in the barber shops. They would hang out, on the porches of these little country stores in our small towns, and they would talk about life's issues and what was happening in the world. And they really, really spent time understanding and learning from one another and building those kinships, right? Being a Patreon member should be far more than what you get in access to. It's, we're acknowledging that, Jason, you've got gifts. I've got gifts. You're supporting me. I'm trying to support you in our community of working men and women, that we just really haven't had that voice in these discussions about issues we see and their problems. We've learned a lot of fucking lessons, man. I bet you're a wealth of information for young men and women out there.
I try. I'd love to bring my son on, but he's actually inside doing schoolwork, and have you ask him what he thinks of the Constitution, because I try to drill that I know the Constitution is not perfect. That's why we have an amendment process. Whether I agree with all the amendments or not, that's irrelevant, because there's a process for a reason.
Right.
If we don't start teaching our children how this works, I know you remember Saturday morning cartoons. How was a bill made? Saturday morning cartoons, they told us how a bill was made. Now you got shit like SpongeBob SquarePants, where all they talk about.
Hold on, that's a great stopping point right there. I'm going to stop you right there so we can wrap up the show. I'll tell you what, when we're back on, and man, I need a counter. I can't get in my phone. When we come back on Monday, right, 8-ish, right? Remember 8-ish? We're going to bring on some SpongeBob and the little constitutional guy. Right, let's bring them onto the broadcast.
We'll do that, brother. My phone's acting stupid because someone just tried to call me. So
all right, hey,
we'll do that. Love you guys.
Love you, brother.
I'll see y'all Monday.
Thanks, big dog. Be good. Wrapping it up, man. CJ's hollering at me. Look, thank you to all of you who do support us in what we're trying to do here, what we're trying to accomplish. We're just working men and women. You know what I mean? We just want what we know is rightfully ours, and that's our ability to raise our family, to parent our children as we see fit, to not have our rights taken away from us and then sold back at a premium cost when our legislators get it wrong. We're fighting for a different kind of America, right? And I want to connect to working men and women all across this country, whether you're up in the Bronx or you're down in South LA, it doesn't matter to me. We know the struggle, and I know that the struggle is real. I understand it, and my family lives it every day. I've lived it, I guess, my entire life without really realizing, how hard the working man's got it, and just nobody really appreciates them for the work that they put in. And that's what we want to do. We want to appreciate you and show you in a very public way that we appreciate you and all that you do and all the sacrifices you make, and that you deserve better. And getting that better is up to us to go and get it. And so we're going to educate ourselves. We're going to network. We're going to build relationships, friendships, and families. And we're going to expand the network of liberty across this country. My name is Cash Jackson. I love you guys very much. I love America and what she stands for, but we're going to get her a lot better and cleaner than what she is right now.
Action! Shut